Today on the San Francisco 49ers Report, we have breaking NFL news that impacts the Niners inside the NFC West and a Trent Williams contract update. It's all coming up right now. Let's go. With NFL free agency beginning on Monday, the news is starting to pick up across the NFL, and we have some breaking NFL news to get to, which impacts the Niners inside the NFC West. The Los Angeles Rams this morning made a trade for Chiefs All-Pro cornerback Trent McDuffie. My instant reaction to seeing this trade, this is a great deal and move for Los Angeles. And this is why Sean McVay, Les Snead, one of the best general manager head coaching combinations in the NFL. When they look at their roster and they see a need, they address it. And the Rams secondary over the last couple of years has been horrible. And this is something that going into the offseason, they pinpointed as something where they needed to get better, because it's something that has truly held them back over the last couple of years in trying to get their second Lombardi trophy together. And what I like about this deal for the Rams as well, they get an all-pro cornerback in Trent McDuffie. They give up the 29th overall pick, but they keep the 13th overall selection. That's the pick where they fleeced the Atlanta Falcons last year in that James Pierce trade. The Rams were already a Super Bowl contender. This makes Los Angeles a better team on the defensive side of the ball. And for the 49ers, this, of course, makes the Rams an improved defensive unit, but it further emphasizes that the 49ers need to address the wide receiver position this offseason. They need to improve that room in getting faster, younger, and more explosive. Because the Rams now have a player who can shut down Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now the Niners need to counter in improving their wide receiver group. As far as the trade details here, the Chiefs receiving a 2026 first-round pick, 29th overall, a 2026 5th and 6th round pick, and then a 2027 third-round pick. The Rams getting Trent McDuffie. First-round pick, 21st overall, back in the 2022 NFL Draft. A two-time Super Bowl champion. He caused nightmares against the Niners in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago during that 2023 season in which he was a first-team All-Pro. He was a second-team All-Pro selection in 2024, and throughout his career, 34 PBUs, 3 interceptions, 5.5 sacks because he can make plays all over the yard, and 8 forced fumbles. A big reason why the Chiefs are making this move, we'll talk more about that coming up here in a little while. This is kind of their playbook, right? They get rid of players when they're in their prime, when they're looking for a new deal. And so upon completing this deal, the Rams will be making McDuffie one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the National Football League, and they will give him a big contract extension. And this is also pretty crazy. Trent McDuffie was taking questions from fans the other day, and this clip was on local TV, KCTV, in Kansas City. And he was asked if he could play for another team, what would that team be? And he said directly, if I could play for another team, I'd love to play closer to home. It would be the Los Angeles Rams. Well, 48 hours after that clip went viral, he is now a member of the Los Angeles Rams. That brings up this poll question here. Les Snead, John Schneider, they've won Super Bowls. They're two of the best GMs in the sport right now. John Lynch is the third best GM in his own division. That's my opinion. What's yours? Where does John Lynch rank among the NFC West GMs? First, second, third, or fourth? Let your voices be heard and answer that for me down in the comment section right now. Before we continue on with today's video, here's what I've been trading on Polymarket. In San Francisco's wildcard game against Philadelphia, Polymarket was giving San Francisco just a 34% chance to win. I like the value of that, and what did they do? Shocked the world on the road in Philadelphia. For those reasons, I took San Francisco at 34% to win the game. $100 wins you $294 if San Francisco took the dub. Plus, with Polymarket, you can trade in and out on momentum shifts without getting blocked, without getting penalized. With in-game trading, once the 49ers got up, I can either ride it all the way out or I could sell early. For example, if you buy at 34% and sell at just 70%, you can snag a cool $206 payout. You can't do this with a traditional sports book. So get started today. Polymarket is legal in all 50 states. Download the app now to get to the top of the wait list. The only way to do that is by clicking my link in the description and comments of today's show. A lot of people probably have this question, right? Chase, why would Kansas City do this? Their defense has been one of their strengths. Kansas City is a team that even though Patrick Mahomes is coming off that torn ACL, the rehab is going well. They're still going to be a Super Bowl contender in 2026. But now they're getting rid of one of their chess pieces on defense who's been so valuable. Again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. This is kind of the MO for Brett Veach, Andy Reid, and KC. They traded away Tyreek Hill in his prime, where he was at the peak of his value. They are doing the same with Trent McDuffie. And like the Niners had going into 2025 last offseason, this signals, I think, a little bit of an organizational reset for the Chiefs. It's not a rebuild in which they're tearing it down, but now they are loaded up with premium draft capital in 2026. They have the 9th overall selection in the first round. Now they have the 29th pick from the Rams. They have the 40th overall pick in the second round. They have a third rounder at 74 overall. So that right there is 4 picks inside the top 100. Just outside the top 100, they've got a 4th round pick at 109, 5th round pick at 146, 2 more 5th rounders at 167 and 176. One of those from the Rams in this trade, a 6th rounder from the Rams at 208. That is 9 total picks for a team that has some holes, and they need to address some of those weaknesses. Patrick Mahomes letting his feelings be known on X on social media after the completion of this trade by saying, damn. And you can understand why Patrick Mahomes is saying that. I mean, Trent McDuffie has been one of the pillars of this Chiefs organization since coming into the league as a first-round pick. He has helped KC win 2 Super Bowls and gone to 3 Super Bowls. And this past year in 2025, he was once again a really good player. In the 13 games, 63 tackles, 2 TFLs, 7 PBUs, 1 pick, and 1 forced fumble. McDuffie is a player who plays on the inside mostly. He can play a little bit on the outside, but when he's playing in the slot in that nickel spot, it allows him to cover running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, but he's also really savvy going up against the run. His coverage numbers this past year, a lot of completion rate, 67.3%, 3 touchdowns given up, and a quarterback rating of 94.7, and there has been a consistency to his game. The 7 PBUs in 2025, good ball production. In 2024, a career best 13 pass breakups. In 2023, when he was that first-team All-Pro, 80 tackles, 3 TFL, 7 PBUs, 5 forced fumbles. So he's also been a disruptive player. And in 2022, his rookie year, he was also really, really good. So a big pickup for the Rams. It makes Los Angeles better, puts a little bit and applies a little bit of pressure on the Niners going into this new league year. Topic number 2. What is the latest on 49ers left tackle Trent Williams? When I was at the NFL Combine, by design, Trent Williams' agent given that leak to Adam Schefter that the two sides are at a contract impasse right now. John Lynch said that he feels really good that a contract can get done. When I sat down with Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports Bay Area, she voiced that as well, that she thinks that Trent Williams and the Niners will eventually get a contract done. And you see where John Lynch is coming from, right? I've said it too. I mean, the Niners can't let a player like Trent Williams go. He is an all-time great player who even at 38 years old this upcoming season is still playing at a very high level. The Niners offensive line with him is mediocre, and he elevates the floor for everybody else along that offensive line. You lose Trent Williams, then the Niners have major, major question marks for an offensive line group that already has big question marks going into this offseason, because I think they need to address center and left guard. If they move on from Trent Williams, they have to replace 3/5 of the offensive line going into a year in which they're top 10 in Super Bowl odds, where they're built to win right now with George Kittle, Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey getting older once again. But here's what Mike Garafolo said on the Trent Williams front. From my understanding, there's been no progress from the past week when the 49ers talked about the optimism that they would get a new deal done with Williams to remain with San Francisco heading into this upcoming season. So there's still work that needs to be done there in the next couple of days to make sure that Williams does not hit the market. If he does, there's going to be interest. And my understanding is that he still feels he's got at least 2 or 3 good years left in that body. He's certainly playing like it, and he is. No doubt about that. So a couple of thoughts here, excuse me, and a couple of things that I've relayed here on the show that I want to talk about once again. This Trent Williams situation is really tricky, right? All-time great player, still playing at an elite level. The Niners already have a mediocre offensive line with major question marks at center and left guard. Trent Williams elevates the play and makes everybody better along that offensive line. The 49ers just signed Brock Purdy to a massive contract. You, of course, want to protect his blind side because already last year he was running for his life, but he's going to be 38 years old next year. It makes this a little bit tricky. Releasing Trent Williams makes no sense because of the dead cap number that the 49ers would have to absorb. But him playing under the current contract that he's under in 2026 doesn't make a ton of sense either because the cap hit is nearly $39 million. Let me throw this out there, though. We have seen a lot of trades over the last couple of days across the NFL. We've seen some offensive linemen on the move. What if the 49ers traded Trent Williams to reset financially at that position and as a team, and they got a couple of really premium draft picks back to help San Francisco financially reset, but build with this new core? Trent Williams is a player who, at 38 years old this upcoming season, I still think would demand a lot via a trade. First-round pick potentially, on top of some other additional assets for a team that is desperate for one of the high-end left tackles in the game still. If I'm the Niners, I would think about going down that road if you know you have a plan in place to address left tackle. And with where the Niners are at 27 overall, I like some of the offensive tackles that could be on the board there to replace Trent Williams. Is it a risk? No doubt about it. But if the asking price is something that the Niners really like, they might think long and hard about it. You also look at the highest paid left tackles per year. Now, Trent Williams is making $27.55 million average annual value. Does he want a new deal that puts him ahead of Tristan Wirfs, ahead of Rashawn Slater? Offensive tackles are not getting any cheaper. So if you draft a rookie, he's a cost-controlled asset over the next 4 or 5 years, and he will be on a price tag that is very minimal compared to what Trent Williams is making at $27.5 million and the cap hit for 2026 at nearly $39 million. And if you're Trent Williams, yeah, I mean, he kind of deserves it, right? And he knows how much the Niners need him. Still played really well this past year. Overall PFF grade of 91.5. Pass blocking grade, just a tick under 80. Run blocking grade, you don't want to see him out in space if you're a linebacker, DB, or safety. 92.8. Pressures allowed. This is where he's starting to go downhill just a tad. He did give up 32 pressures. That's a high number for him, and 4 sacks. So could the Niners sell high in trading away Trent Williams? I would not be shocked. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Anytime there's breaking news or a big topic around this football team, we're going to talk about it right here on the show.